told him, though, now that we spent so much time together, we connected, I hugged him a few times in the middle. I said, the truth is, I'm angry at you, so I just want to tell you, I want to bring it up, I'm very upset, I'm angry at you. He says, why? I said, I saw you sent me pictures last week, 2 weeks ago. You weren't wearing a yarmulke. And now you came to me, you put on a yarmulke? So he looks at me, he says, oh, out of respect. I said, that's not respectful, that's disrespectful. I want a relationship with the real you. I don't need you to dress up for me. Who am I that you should dress up? I want the real you. Your kids don't have to dress up for the people on the street so they can be real. This whole idea, you have to dress up for me out of respect, then you don't get the real person. You don't want your kid to wear a yarmulke. You want your kid to want to wear a yarmulke. That comes from the power of influence, which is depending on the connection and the deep NKN that we're going to learn tomorrow. The depth of your relationship is going to make them one day want to wear a yarmulke. But where does this come from? You have to dress up for somebody in my house and show me respect and dress. Would you do that if the president came? He may decide to put on a yarmulke when he goes to the kotel. That's his thing. But with a broken person, he has to dress up for me. You know what an impact it was? And I'm not faking it. It's easier when it's not your kid, I understand. But it doesn't change the medicine. I said, you disrespected me that you think that you need to dress up for me to like you. I like you. He took off his yarmulke. He cried. He stood up. And I gave him such a yummy hug. And different than the hugs before. I was hugging the real you. Don't let these things, if the problem is that they're Machal Shabbos, the problem is they're eating treif, the problem is they have real problems, they're real, imagine someone with cancer, but you care that it's not respectful to come bald from the chemo, so put on a wig. Ridiculous. We have major problems we have to overcome. Kids who want to die, kids who are suicidal, kids who are on drugs, and religiously, major problems. And you're going to tell them you have to be respectful to me? Is that our religion? That you have to dress up for me? That makes me feel what? Well, I feel better? It's psychotic. It's like, oh, I look around the table and I see all my children wearing yarmulke, even though I know that you're not frum and you're eating treif and you're dating a shiksa. I feel better. What are you, crazy? Do you feel better because you see this yarmulke on the head when you know that they're not holding by it? No, we have to get real. So that's the next step. Not just saying, that you don't have to dress up for me. You don't have to be. I'm insulted because I want the real you. And eino daima, you cannot compare a relationship to somebody that feels that they have to dress up for you, or someone that knows I can be me. I can be me. And you are enough. You are good enough for me. And you are good enough, especially for parents. If you're good enough for Abba, you're good enough for Avinu Shebashamayim. You're not out. You're not knocked out. You're not out of the religion. You're not out of the relationship. That's what we strive for. Don't let little things, narishka, it's so stupid. It's so foolish compared to what we have to do. You have to do CPR on a patient to save their lives, and what's getting in the way is stupidity. I would say it's almost like the Gemara, the Chassid Shaita. He doesn't want to go save a woman drowning in the ladies' pool because he doesn't want to see Natznias. It's called a Chassid Shaita. At least he's a Chassid. Not so bad. It's a Chassid Shaita. It's a bechina of a Rach Shtus. At my table, you need to wear a yarmulke. No, at my table, I want them to want to wear a yarmulke. Then I know I was successful. When they put it on after they know I'm happy that they don't wear it. They want to do it. Their rutzon is to do it either because they really halavai that they want the yarmulke, or even out of respect. Fine, when they want to do it out of respect. But I say I don't need it. No, I feel more comfortable. Hey, You feel more comfortable with your pants on, your pants off, I don't care. Yarmulke on, yarmulke. Do whatever you want. But you understand the depth of the relationship that you need to have is being blocked by dress codes. In my house, you have to dress tznius. Now, what would have happened if you would have kept that? 8 years, she wasn't home. She wasn't home. So she would be another 10 years, another 20 years. She wouldn't be alive, okay? But also, she told you then so many times that she didn't come home because of the dress code. So if the whole thing that's going to save them, as we see from the Chazon Ish and the Baal Shem Tov and all of the other Maramakim, the whole thing is connection. And so many times you couldn't connect, you couldn't do CPR because she thought, I can't come home without a dress. You lost out on so many opportunities. I'm not saying it's easy. But if the medicine is connection, if the medicine is their birthright, as Reb Shimon said, their birthright to have parents who accept me, I'm a human being. And you know what they say? They say, I know I'm a good person. I care about the homeless, and I care about the stranded dogs, and I care about people's pain. I'm such a bad person that they can't. I have to dress up for them. I'm not good enough the way that I am because I clicked unsubscribe on Judaism, so I lose my parents. And is that our message? I would say, because I have a collection of over 4,000, I'm putting together books, an encyclopedia of stories from everywhere. From everywhere, Litvish, Hasidish, everything. Nowhere does it say rejection. Nowhere does it say it's communism. It's communism. And you know what happened with communism ultimately? It fails. It doesn't make anybody want. The one thing that you cannot control, you can get them to dress up any way you want, but you can't control somebody's ratzon. You can't control their ratzon. And the only thing that's going to get them back is their ratzon, their inner will to want. So you don't want your kid to put on tefillin. You want your kid to want to put on tefillin. You don't want your daughter to be tznius. You want your daughter to want to be tznius. And you can't accomplish to change somebody's ratzon with force, control, manipulation, power, deals, none of that. It doesn't create ratzon. It does not create the inner ratzon, which only comes from the power of influence, like what you do, like what all of you people are doing. That your kids are so close to you and feel fully accepted. Then, when they're out of their pain, you're their role model. Who else are they going to want to be like? They're never going to want to be like somebody who shows them that our Torah says that if you're out, I can't look at you, and I can't make a bracha in front of you. I got a shayla, someone called me, and we called my Rosh Hashiva, their Das Torah, Reb Shmuel Kamenetsky Shlita. And the problem was, they said, we can't invite her to the Hanukkah party, because the brothers and the uncles, big Talmid Chachamim, Tzadikim, Ga'onim, said that if she's going to come not tzniustik, we're not coming to the Hanukkah party. And why? Why? You don't have to mamish look. I mean, if to be polite, we go in the streets. Anybody doesn't go to get $1 million loan from the bank worried about tznius? You starting on her? Right? Story in a story in a story. I got challenged by the siblings when I meet the sibling group. So this very nice chashuv tzaddik of a boy tells me, I don't want to see not tznius. So I said, between me and you never watch a movie? Nobody's looking. You never go on the street. You never see Natznias? He said, sometimes. I said, okay, so start with that. You don't start with your sister. You have to start your Ehrlichkeit and your Frumkeit on your sister. She's nebuch suicidal and dying. First cut out movies and cut out the streets and walk with you. And then the last piece of your Sheminah Sinayim, we can talk about your sister. You're starting with, everybody wants to start, right? Like what, a story within a story within a story. What Lubavitcher Rebbe said, I think it was the Rayatz, right? They said, how are you loving people? It says in the end of Shulchan Aruch, you're not supposed to love. End of Choshev Mishpah, you're not supposed to love. So he said, you're supposed to start at the beginning. If you makayim all the halachas of all the Arba Chelkei Shulchan Aruch, and you end with that, okay. But you're starting from that side, it's not coming from a good place. Or like another, I think the Vishnitzer Rebbe said, I think it was the Emir Chaim or the Havas Yisrael said, I'd rather be over. Oh, he said like this, how come you love people that it's mutter l'snaisai. It's mutter to hate. So he said, Kadosh atzmecha b'mutter lach. I don't know how to say it in English. Be holy by things that are mutter. You know, like it's mutter l'snaisai, but it's okay. I don't have to hate them, you know? And there's many other stories. So I have a collection of 4 billion stories. This attitude is not Yiddish. The Gedolim didn't say, you have to, you better. They said, like the story from the other story that I sent around with the vision that Rebbe told him, the guy who came with a motorcycle on Shabbos, he said, Kim wie du bist, wenn du willst. Come as you are, dressed as you are. You came by motorcycle, in a t-shirt. Come when you want. And he said, and I remained there. Acceptance is from us. The rejection and the control comes from communism, and it comes from the Arabs. Blow up the infidels. You don't subscribe to me? Blow up the infidels. And a lot of people, Jewish people, do what you just did. You smirk. I got news for you. What you do is worse than blow up the infidels. You kill their parents. You kill the fact you're alive, but they don't feel that they have parents. You make them Yisayimim b'chayi ha'av in the name of Hashem. And Hashem is saying, listen to the Baal Shem Tov, he's on my wall. Lehoi v'yisam b'yaser. Listen to the Chazon Ish, he's on my wall. Where is it? It's over there. Yinasu l'mashchem ba'avoisis ahava v'loi l'tchaisam chalila. Listen to Rav Pam, listen to the Chazon, listen to the Bavitcher Rebbe, listen to all these people representing Hashem, and you're representing Hashem, and saying, I can't look at you. You disgust me. Show me one story that's what happened. Show me one tzaddik, one gadol that talked like that. It's pain. Yes, you're entitled to be in pain, but don't kill your kid because of it, in the name of God. What you should say, if you're honest, is, my child, Hashem wants me to love you, but I'm a stupid human and I do a lot of sins, and this is one of them. Get out of my house. But don't do it in the name of Hashem. Do it in the name of your ego. Fine, I respect you. Do it in the name of your ego. Do it in the name of the Shchenim. I'm sacrificing you on behalf of my neighbors. Like they used to throw the kids, La'avoid Zara L'moilech, right? Okay, that's a good reason to lose your kid. Okay, fine, especially if you live in Williamsburg. I understand. Neighbors is very powerful, right? I'm doing it in the name of, I'm embarrassed of my... Do it in your own personal flaws and small-mindedness, but you do it in the name of Hashem, the name of God. I'm so frum that you can't behave this way in front of me. I can't tolerate you. No, hang on. That's not what Hashem says through the tzaddikim of so many generations.